So what do you do if you're buying a house and you realize you made a mistake and you don't want the house? We heard this thing that came up last year about buyer's remorse when it comes to buying houses, and people are so hot to buy a house that they buy houses and then a year later they end up regretting it. Usually there's a lot of factors that go into that. You really don't see that too often if somebody does the due diligence and actually buys it for the right reason. But let's say you do find out you're buying a house and you end up deciding, you know what, this is not the right house. I really regretted it. I don't want it. What do? Well, typically whenever you buy a house, you have 5 days. You have the first 5 days that you are under contract for the house that you can back out for any reason at all. Let's say today's Monday, right? So let's say you got your offer accepted on a house. Today's Monday. You have technically until Friday to say, for whatever reason, you don't even need to give an excuse. All you have to say is, we don't want this house. We're done. We're no longer interested. And you get your money back. You get your deposit back, and you're all good to go. So if you're ever worried about looking for homes and you're wondering, what if I don't like it? What if I'm making a mistake? You always have an option of backing out, especially within the first 5 weeks. Not only that, but when you are buying a house, you always want to do a professional inspection. So you take a look at the home, you go through it, you see what's wrong with it. Let's say you like the house and you do an initial showing at it, but you're not sure if it's the right one for you. So you do an inspection, you take a look at it, see what's wrong with it, and even after that, you say, you know what, there's too much going on here, too much work, I don't want to deal with it. You can back out for whatever reason that you find. Again, especially after the first 5 days, those are crucial to making sure that you're ready to go and you really do want that house. So I want you to really make sure, really put a lot of effort and thought. We really don't make offers, on the fly. You want to really put an offer on a house that you really love, that you really want. And let's say you're kind of in the middle. Maybe you like this house, but you are really forced to make a decision because for whatever reason you need to find a place to live by and you're willing to settle for a home. That happens. Let's say you do like a house, you put an offer in, you find the inspection, and you're just not happy with it. You can back out with no consequences. So I want you to remember that. If you're worried about buying a house, if you're worried about what if I end up not wanting to be here and I'm making a mistake, you can always back out, especially within the first 5 days. After that, if you committed, you basically make 2 commitments when you buy a house. The first commitment is the offer. When you make the offer on the home, that's your first commitment. The second commitment is after those 5 days, when you do the inspection and you're like, okay, everything came back on the inspection, we're good to go, we're fine with all these issues, or whatever, we're willing to negotiate with the seller. And after that period, and you guys negotiate, and you're like, yep, I'm okay with it, that's good, this house is good for me. That's your second commitment. After those 2 commitments, it's going to be a little tougher to back out. Yes, you can absolutely back out after that, but you're probably going to lose your deposit after that because you've already made 2 commitments on why you want that house. After the third one, when you do a third one, you're probably going to lose your deposit. But you know what? That's not the worst thing in the world. If you really think you're making a mistake and you want to lose that deposit, that's okay too. But just know, if you feel like you're going to be worried about making a mistake, you have 5 days after getting the offer accepted to back out. So keep that in mind when you're looking for houses next time. And if anything comes up, if you have any questions, let me know. But just remember, if you think you're going to be making a mistake and you have a house under contract, you have 5 days to back out no matter what.